everybody to Wednesday Night Yin. Finally getting started here. You can start on your back. Everybody in the studio is already there, so that's where you should go. Take your first couple moments and just get your focus to your breath. It's Yin, right? Finally getting back to our Wednesday Night Yin practice. That means you don't really need to control your breath so much. Right? Not like you do in a vinyasa class. Letting your breath do its own thing. That doesn't mean that you're not bringing your awareness to it. Right? You want to notice your breath. You want to observe your breath. You want to let it push all those other distractions out. So you can be focused on your practice. You can be present to your practice. Right? In Yin, when we're holding these poses a little bit longer, right? Sometimes it's easy to let our minds wander as we're holding the poses. That's why you have to have that focus on the breath. To keep you on your mat. Keep you grounded to your mat. Keep you in the pose. Keep you feeling the pose. So right now you're just on your back. But it's the perfect time to practice. Getting that focus to the breath, letting the breath take over. We want to let everything relax here. So bodies relax. Get into these poses. You're able to just hold them and be still through them. Take a few more breaths here. I'm going to grab a block. We're going to use that in a couple of the poses. If you have a block at home, you can use it. If you don't, I'll tell you how to do it without. Now, when you're ready to start moving, right, take your knees, hug them in to your chest. Maybe take a couple lumbar circles here. Circle your knees around in a full circle. Do 3 or 4 one direction. And then do 3 or 4 the other direction. And eventually, you're going to bring your hands to the crease of your knees. Rock yourself up to seated. Now, we're going to come into a tabletop. Have your block handy. Put your block outside your left hand. Right? That's probably going to be the easiest thing here. And then from here, you're going to take your right hand and just wrap it behind your back. right? And then take your right foot, step it out to the side. Right? So you're just stepping that foot out, and then you're gonna bring that foot next to your left hand, right? So you wanna do it in 2 steps. So it's boom, boom. Now, as you come here, right now let your right hand unwrap. So your hands are on either side of your right foot. So we're in like a runner's lunge, like we would be in yoga, except, right? And when we do this in, or I said yoga, we're in yoga, right? But in vinyasa, right? In yin, you want that left hip to stay, or as in this pose, this thinker's pose, we want that left hip to stay right over the left knee. So don't scoot that left knee back. Put your left hip right over your left knee. Bring your right knee right over your right ankle. Right now, you can use the block here, take it inside your right foot, and just put your left hand on it. All right, now you're gonna push up, you're gonna come up. As you come up, right, now you're gonna take your right elbow and put it on your right knee. Now you have 2 options here, right? You can just take your chin into your hand, and it could look like this, or you can take your forehead and put it into your hand. It looks like this. Now, if you don't have a block, right, you can take that left hand and put it also on your right thigh, so it looks like this, right? Then I'm having to use a little bit more strength here because I'm having to hold myself steady. You can also kind of lean to the left. Let your left hand come down. Give yourself that little prop right there, right? But the block helps because then we get a little higher. We don't have to lean, and we can still have that stability. Those are all your options. Right now, we're just staying here for another 5 breaths or so. One more breath. And then we're going to do this. You're going to come up. Now let that right hand come down, right? Take your left hand down. You can move that right hand out of the way again, but you just want to bring that right knee back so that you're back in your tabletop, right? Now move the block over to the right side. So we're going to do that again on the other side. So you're here in your tabletop. Left hand's going to wrap around behind your back. You're just going to step that left foot first out to the side, and then bring it around right next to your right hand. And again, here, whenever I do this, even when we do this in vinyasa, right, you always, I shouldn't say always, right, because that's not true, but you usually end up with your right hip more over your right knee, right? And I always tell you in vinyasa, oh, move that right knee back. But again, here, I want you to keep that right hip right over the right knee, left knee right over the left ankle. Now, that right hand, that block is gonna come right inside your left foot. You're gonna put your right hand on the block, unwrap your left hand, right? So you're lifting up. Now, you're gonna put your left elbow on your left knee, and then you're gonna lean your head to your left hand. So again, it could be here, right? Or it could be here. If you don't have a block, again, you can just take your left hand and put it on your, or right hand, put it on your left thigh, so it's like this. Or you could let that right hand come all the way to the ground, leaning to the right a little bit to get there, if you need that stability and you don't have a block. So you decide what's best for you. Just gonna take 5 or 6 breaths here. Take 2 more breaths here. When you're ready, start to look up, slide that left hand back down to your left knee, and then you're gonna bring that left knee back and come back into tabletop. So, right, bring your right hand down, take that left knee back around. So now we're all back here in tabletop. Now from tabletop, you're gonna stay right here, but just flip your hands around so the eyes of your elbows point forward. So like this. Right now, we're gonna to stay right here. If you want to shift forward and back, you can shift forward and back, but it's yin. If you want to stay still, that's always an option. Maybe you'll get more out of it like that. If you do a lot of vinyasa yoga, which most of you in here do, right? Whether you know it or not, right? Maybe you want to shift forward and back, and it'll make it feel a little better on your wrists, right? Because your wrists need that loosening up. If yin's the only thing you ever do, right? Then probably staying still feels better. Let's take 4 more breaths, just right here, wherever you are. All right, now let your hands flip back around. Now, as you flip them back around, what I want you to do here, we're gonna do this one at a time, right? So first you take your right hand, flip it over. So you're putting the back of your hand on the ground and pointing your right fingertips toward your right knee. And so that's starting to release that wrist in a different way, right? Obviously we can't do this with both hands at once.
Oh, I'm so afraid that's... Yeah, no, me too.
2 more breaths here. And then flip that right hand back over. Now we're going to do that on the left hand, right? So press into your right palm. Flip that left hand over. So the back of your hand is on the ground. Your fingertips are pointing back towards your left knee. Flip that left hand back over. Right, now from here, we're gonna come all the way down to our belly, right? So start to move your knees back, bend into your elbows, let yourself come all the way down. Now, as you get down here, you can use your block if it makes it more comfortable. It might not, right? You'll wanna listen to what we're doing first, right? Before you decide, that's okay, right? So your forehead's gonna come down to the mat or to a block. Once you're there, you're gonna take your fingertips and put them behind your neck, right? So this is what I look like with my forehead on the block. If it feels better to take your head down to the mat, then you're here. It's gonna be different for everybody. I'm gonna lift up here just so I'm not talking into the floor, but you guys stay there. If you're at home and you don't have a block, right? Try it. Maybe it feels okay to have your forehead on the ground. For me, it feels better to have my forehead just straight on the ground. If that's really not comfortable to you, and you wish you had a block, maybe take a thick book or a cushion or something and let your head rest on that, right? Just your forehead so that your nose is towards the ground. And then take your fingertips, put them behind your neck, and you're here, right? Now we're getting into the true yin part of the practice. Hold this pose a little bit longer. This pose shouldn't be that uncomfortable, but after a minute or so, you're going to start to feel that sensation, like that urge to wiggle and move. So when you resist that sensation and force yourself to stay still, whatever sensation is coming at you, right? That's how we train ourselves to stay calm through whatever comes at us in life. That's yin. So we're going to stay here another minute and a half or so. Stay still as you can, resist the urge to fidget. Keep that focus on your breath. here. Now when you're ready, you're going to take your hands, bring them back to the floor so your palms are face down and your elbows are pointed straight behind you. Push yourself up, right? Now, if you want to, you can come up into a kind of up dog where you just straighten your arms, coming all the way up like this. If that feels good to you, go there. We're going to hold it for a few breaths. If up dog is not your thing, you can stay here in Sphinx with your elbows on the ground. So you can be here, you can be here. If none of that is good and your back is really not on it today, then you can come here into tabletop. Right, not sitting here a super long time, but for about 3 more breaths. Wherever you are. Come down so I'm in an up dog. You can be in Sphinx. You can be in tabletop. All right, now from here, everybody's going to bring themselves into tabletop. Make sure you have your block here. It's going to come now right in between your hands. All right, and what you're going to do, push your hips back toward your heels. Now, it doesn't matter if your hips don't come all the way to your heels, right? But get them as close to your heels as you can. You're going to take the block. It can be at its lowest level. It can be at a medium level, or it can be in a high level. Let your forehead come to the block. All right, and then from there, you're going to take your hands, sweep them back behind you. Reach your hands towards your feet. Let your shoulders relax, right? So they're almost like on your knees. Like I said, if this feels like too much on your knees, you can always lift your hips a little higher. Right? I could be almost with my hips all the way up. I just move the block a little bit forward. My hands are more on my calves than on the ground. Doesn't feel good on your neck? Adjust the level of the block. It has 3 levels. Right? If you don't have a block, you can just be here in a regular passive child's pose, which looks like this. Right? Or you can lift your head up on your own. Or again, you can use a book or a cushion or whatever you have to lift your head slightly. And we're staying here for a couple minutes, so let yourself relax into it. Stay here in this pose. These next few poses, I'm going to give you a mantra for each one, right? A mantra is just something you say to yourself, an affirmation. So this one, the mantra is, my life is purposeful. As you stay in this pose, just think that to yourself. You feel the urge to move. Just keep saying it over and over again to yourself. All these mantras meant to stimulate the third eye. The third eye is that spot right between your eyebrows, just above your nose. It guides your intuition, right? So we've been stimulating that a lot tonight on purpose. We all need a little extra intuition to guide us into this new year. So you're coming up, you're gonna end up here in this low kneel, or maybe you're in tabletop, right? We're gonna let our hips go to one side or the other. And you're gonna bring your legs around in front of you. And this time, as we bring our legs around in front, right? Extend your right leg all the way long. You're gonna bend into your left knee, bring the sole of your left foot against your right inner thigh. So you're in this half butterfly position, all right? So we're gonna do a half butterfly forward fold, but we're gonna do it, right, while stimulating that third eye. So here are your options, right? This is what I like to do. You can take the block, put it right on your leg, and then you're gonna lean forward. You're gonna put your forehead on the block. So maybe your block is in a different spot, right, depending on how low down you can go. And then you're letting your hands reach towards that right foot. Now, if you don't have a block, right, one thing you can do, you come forward with your elbows on the mat, take your two thumbs, and put them right at your third eye. And just let your hands support your head. Or, right, if none of that feels good, you can always just come into a regular half butterfly forward fold, right? But you don't want to tuck your chin to your chest. You're not trying to drive your head down towards your knee, right? You're trying to keep the back flat. That's why the block can helps us to keep our back flat while stimulating that third eye at the same time. So you're here, or you're here, right? But you don't want the crown of your head dipping towards your knee. You want that crown of the head pointed forward, whether you add that stimulation of the third eye or not. So as we get further into class, right, these holds are a little bit longer. You really have to let yourself sink into it. Let your breath keep you grounded there in the pose. Stay still through whatever sensations your body throws at you. While you guys are here for the next couple moments, right, here's your mantra for this pose. My intuition is always guiding me. We all need to trust our intuition a little bit more. Listen to that voice in your head. It tells you what the right thing to do is. It's usually right. Tell yourself, my intuition is always guiding me. Slowly come up here. All right, now we're going to switch this out. So you're going to extend your left leg long. And you're going to bend into your right knee. So your right knee's going off to the side. So we're going to do the same thing here, right? You're folding over that left leg. Now, again, if you want to use the block, it can be at any level. You bring it onto your leg and lean forward so your forehead can touch it. Right? Maybe it comes further along your leg. Maybe it has to come higher up your leg. Whatever makes it comfortable for you. If you don't like the block, right, you can always do it, like I said, elbows on your thigh or on the mat with your thumbs at your third eye, right? Or you can just do a regular forward fold. But you want to keep the crown of your head pointed towards the top of your mat, right? Don't tuck your chin to your chest or try to drive your head down to your leg. You want to open up that body. And in this case, we're opening up the left hamstring, right? So that's our goal here. Stimulation of the third eye, just something we're adding on. Your mantra in this pose goes along with the one we did on the other side, right? Here we want to say to ourselves, I have all the answers within me. I have all the answers within me. And it's telling yourself to trust your intuition. Everything you need to make any major decision is already within you. we're slowly gonna come up here. All right, let both legs come out in front of you. Just gonna wiggle them a little bit. We got one more really yin pose to do, but I messed this up and I forgot this one needs 2 blocks. So I'm gonna bring the blocks around to you guys from the yin. All right, and you take one more if you only have one. Thanks. If you're at home and you have no block, all right, I will show you a way to do this without blocks. If you have a block or 2, grab them. They're just dancing, they don't need the blocks. This is Angie, maybe it's Angie. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it is Angie.
Is it Angie?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll spray them, they'll be clean. You're all good. I didn't catch one. Alright, so here's what we're going to do here, alright? We have the 2 blocks. The blocks are going to come down. Now they can be, again, at any level. I wouldn't recommend putting them at the highest level. You probably want them either at the low level or maybe the medium level. All right, and you're gonna lean forward. What you want is for your shoulders to come to those blocks, right? So see, I have them in front of me, kind of shoulder width distance apart. So I'm gonna lay down on my belly. My chest comes between, my shoulders come onto the blocks. My head is gonna go down to the mat, and your hands are gonna sweep back behind you, so they're resting, palms face down. So you're just here. So again, you're stimulating that third eye. It's pressing right into the mat here. You're elevating your chest. Now, if you're at home and you have no blocks, right, you can get a big cushion and put it in front of you and do the same thing here. So your shoulders are up higher, right, or 2 cushions. If you have blocks, use your blocks. If you don't have any of that, take your hands, bring them in front of you like this, and rest your forehead on your wrists, and just be here. Right, those are all your options. So again, staying here a little bit longer. Let yourself relax into it. Here's a mantra while you're in this pose. My spiritual vision is clear. My spiritual vision is clear. When you're ready, let yourself come up here. Right, so wherever you were, you bring your hands in and then just push yourself up into a tabletop. Now, for this last pose that we do before Shavasana, we're going to lay on our back. So let your hips come down to one side or the other. You can use your blocks here if you want to, or maybe you don't want to use them at all. It's up to you. Right, but you're going to come with your feet at the top of your mat. Let yourself lower down to the mat. And then we're going to come into a reclining bound angle. So that means that you're going to bring the soles of both feet together and let your knees fall out to the sides. Now, if you have your blocks and you want to use them, right, you just put them so that they're underneath your thighs / your knees, giving your legs a little bit of support, right? Sometimes it helps you relax a little bit easier into the pose. If you don't like it, you don't have to use the blocks at all. Now, here's what I want you to do, right? Take your two thumbs and just press them into your third eye. Okay, so you look like this. Now, we're going to hang out here, right? If your arms get tired, it's fine. You can let them come down. But see if you can hold there, at least for a minute or so. You don't have to time yourself. Just do it until you feel like you don't want to anymore. Just put that pressure on your third eye. See how it feels. Okay. When it feels like too much with your arms, just let them rest at your sides or whatever else you want to do with them. Listen, try pressing those thumbs in, at least for the first part, as you settle in. Here's your last mantra for tonight. I see the bigger picture and trust my inner wisdom. I see the bigger picture and trust my inner wisdom. here, slowly just let your feet come to the ground. Bring your knees together. So you're just here now in this constructive rest pose with your head, hips, shoulders on the ground, your knees bent, feet on the ground. We're going to transition from here into our Shavasana. So maybe you want to stay laying on your back. Probably you want to stay laying on your back, right? You can extend your legs if you want. Maybe you slide those blocks under your knees now if you want to, or maybe you keep your knees bent. Let them pull in against each other. Maybe you keep your legs butterflied if that was good for you. You can roll to your belly, roll to your side. Do that. Right? Find somewhere to be where you're going to be nice and comfortable, where you're going to be able to stay still, where your mind is going to go quiet. Those of you in the studio, I'm going to come around. A little spray for your towel. This one here. Sandals in this. So if you're at home and you have a towel, you can put it over your eyes. If you don't, just close your eyes. A towel with spray, just something a little extra to get you a little deeper into your Shavasana. Right? But it should be necessary for your Shavasana. Right? What is necessary for your Shavasana is your breath. Right? Let your breath begin to guide you here. Allow your focus to come fully and completely to your breath, so their breath can guide you, that you can follow it. You can let it take you right to a place. There's nothing left in your mind but you and your breath. That's your true quiet of the mind. slowly start to come back into the room. Wiggle your fingers, your toes, feeling that increased sensation that comes with a quiet mind. If you want to here, you can take your arms overhead. Do a nice full deep body breath, or deep body stretch. And then from there, you can let yourself roll over onto your right side in a fetal position. Take a couple of breaths right there just to reacclimate to our space. Let the sights, the sounds of the room come back to you. Take as long as you need right here. But when you're ready, only when you're ready, push yourself up to seated. And we will close here. So we're going to close here just with our two Bhamari breaths and then an Om. So as we inhale, we're going to make that humming sound in the back of the throat as we exhale. After we inhale, we're going to make that humming sound in the back of the throat as we exhale. Right? We'll do that twice, and then we'll do the Om on the third breath as the universal syllable uses all parts of the throat. All right? So you can join me in these breaths if you want to just listen. Just listen. Let's close our eyes here, and we'll inhale together. Inhaling again. And then we'll inhale one final time and Om. Let your eyes drift open. Bring your hands to heart center. Thank you, all of you, for sharing your energy, your practice with me this evening. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste. All right. So I will see you all on Saturday. Back to our Saturday slow flow. We haven't done it in a couple weeks because of Christmas and New Year's, so come join me then. Angie will be here tomorrow morning for some more yin. So come join her if you want to. I promise I'll clean all the blocks and there'll be plenty for you, okay? Otherwise, I will see you all Saturday, all right? Bye.